Almost there. Chapter 38, Tiana. Tiana's mind swirled with worry as the reality of her situation began to sink in. She paced back and forth in front of the bathtub-shaped cauldron in the middle of the room, the angst building in her bloodstream with each second that passed. There had to be a way out of this. Maybe it was possible she could... There was nothing. Once again, she found herself facing a problem she could not solve using her own devices. Putting in extra hours or working harder than anyone else would do her no good when it came to Facilier and his friends on the other side. She was dealing with powers outside of her realm of control. She stopped walking, a sudden sense of doom crashing over her. "I can't do this alone," Tiana said in a strained voice. She covered her face in her hands. It felt as if those walls were closing in on her, squeezing her lungs. She hated this feeling. She never allowed herself to give up, but she couldn't see a way out. "Tia?" Her shoulders stiffened at the sound of Charlotte's voice, but Charlotte didn't look at her. She couldn't bear to see Lottie's look of pity staring back at her. Tiana?" came Naveen's sweet voice. Her hands fell from her face. She was unable to ignore him, no matter how much she wanted to. It wasn't just Naveen and Charlotte, but Louis and even Lizette had come to see about her. They didn't look at her with pity. It was genuine concern on their faces. It made Tiana want to burst into tears. "What exactly did you need from Mama Odie?" Lizette asked. "Maybe I can help." "Not if you don't have her powers. Knowledge," Lizette corrected. "And even though I don't have the knowledge Auntie Odie has about such things, there are others who do. Now, tell me about this fella you've gotten yourself mixed up with. Maybe we can figure out a way to get you out of this." A combination of hope and optimism began to coalesce in her blood. Tiana stared at the curious faces staring back at her and wondered how much she would say. The less they knew about her dealings with the Shadow Man, the safer they would be. Then again, they had come all the way this far with her. She couldn't help them completely in the dark, completely in the dark any longer. She sniffed, wiping her nose on the sleeve of her filthy shirt. She directed her attention to Lizette, but spoke loudly enough so that they would all hear her. "His name is Dr. Facilier," Tiana started. "People around the neighborhood always warned us kids to stay away from them. They say he deals in bad magic, and nothing good can come from it." "I gather the energy he deals isn't good at all," Lizette said. "Healing energy is at the center of the voodoo my mama and Auntie Odie grew up practicing in Haiti. It's filled with goodness and light and blessings from the ancestors who had gone before us. But there are others who use their knowledge for the wrong thing," Lizette said, her voice whisper soft, as if she were afraid someone beyond these walls could hear her. "I've been warned away from those people, too." "I knew better," Tiana said. "But..." She glanced over at Naveen. "I found myself in a desperate situation. The Shadow Man offered to provide things I had only hoped for in my dreams, something I thought I could never again." She sucked in a deep breath. "And then he threatened to hurt people I love." "He threatened you?" Naveen asked, his brow furrowed with displeasure, and Tiana couldn't deny that it felt nice to see how angry he was on her behalf. "It felt as if I had no other choice but to make the deal," Tiana said. "I made the choice I thought would give me that thing I really wanted while keeping my loved ones safe." "But Facilier changed the rules. A few days ago he demanded I make a new deal. When I told him I wouldn't, he started to make good on his threats. He caused all kinds of horrible things to happen, but I'm afraid if I give in to his demands this time, he will continue to ask for more, and I'll never get out from under his thumb." Lizette nodded. "Yes, I'm sure he will. You give people like that an inch and they'll take a whole mile. You can't trust this Facilier fella to do the right thing." "No, I can't," Tiana said. "That's why I came seeking Mama Odie's help. She's the only person I can think of who would know what to do." Lizette crossed her arms over her chest, a contemplative frown on her face. After a moment, she said, "There's a possibility there's someone else who can help. She's an old friend of Mama and Auntie Odie. They all grew up together at Port-au-Prince." "Who is she? Where is she?" Tiana asked. "Does she live out here on the bayou?" Lizette shook her head. "She's back in New Orleans. She lives in the French Quarter." Tiana threw her head back and sighed up at the ceiling. They'd come all this way when the answer was right at home. What's her name? Tiana asked again. And can you give us directions to exactly where she lives in the quarter? Lizette screwed up her lips, a confused look on her face. After a minute, she shook her head. Sorry, but I just don't know enough about New Orleans to tell you how to get there. Tiana's shoulders wilted. But I can show you, Lizette piped up. I may not recall the street names, but I've been to see T. Lon's home with Mama and Odie several times. I'm pretty sure I'll remember the way once I'm there and can see it for myself. Tiana was almost afraid to hope. You're willing to come back with us? You sound like you need the help, she said. My mama and auntie always taught me to help good people who are in need. She looked Tiana up and down. You seem like good people. I am good people, Tiana rushed out. I promise I am. Please, Lizette, if Mama Odie can't help me, then I must go to her friend to see if she's willing to do so. Lizette walked back over to the table where the ingredients she used to make the salve still sat. She picked up one of the jars and replaced the cap, slowly tightening it. Well, I have been wanting to go back to New Orleans for quite a while, she finally spoke. All the tall buildings and streetlights and cars, it's just so dreamy compared to the bayou. Her excitement seemed to build the more she talked. Her eyes lit up at her lips, curved into a smile. Oh, and I want to go to a speakeasy and listen to music and dance. It's been so long since I went out dancing. She spun in a circle, and the hem of her rough ankle-length denim skirt twirling around her legs. She let out a giggle that reminded Tiana that she was still a girl, despite seeming to be wise beyond her years. I'll make you a deal, Tiana said. If you come back with us and bring me to... What's her name again? T-Lond, Lizette said. She's not my real auntie, but she's always felt like one to me. Okay, if you can bring me to your T-Lond's home in the French Quarter, you can come over to my restaurant and dance your heart out. But then I'll make sure to get you back to Mama Odie. Maybe Louie can bring you? Tiana said, looking to him. You think so, Louie? Wait, Lizette said before he could answer. Isn't it almost Mardi Gras? Yes, Tiana nodded. This coming Tuesday. Lizette pulled her bottom lip between her teeth. I'm supposed to be here taking care of Mama Odie's house, but I can't go to New Orleans this close to Mardi Gras and then leave before the big day. Tiana looked at her with cautious hope. Does that mean you're coming with us? Lizette paused for a moment before nodding. Yeah, I'll take you all to see T-Lons, and you can take me back after Mardi Gras. Oh, thank you! Tiana launched herself at her, gathering her in a hug. She felt the girl stiffen in her arms. She quickly released her and stepped back. I'm sorry, I'm just so grateful. Yeah, I can tell, Lizette said. She took several steps back and held out her hands. Here's what we'll do, y'all. You all will help me get everything in order here in the boathouse. I have to make sure all is secure if I'm going to leave Auntie Odie's place for several days. Then first thing in the morning, we'll set out for New Orleans. It shouldn't take more than a couple of hours to get there. A couple hours? Tiana balked. She wasn't so sure Lizette would be able to lead her to this Lond woman's home after all. Not if she thought it would only take 2 hours to go back to the city. I can see what you're thinking, Lizette said. Don't you worry. That cagey smile returned to her lips, and then she winked. I know a shortcut.